Srila Prabhupada came for Kumbha Mela for the Ada Kumbh in even the camera is going, wow. So Srila Prabhupada came 2 times for Kumbha Mela. One time he came for the Ada Kumbh in 1971. And that time, Hare Krishna, that time Srila Prabhupada didn't have his own camp. They stayed in the camp of Sridhar Swami. And there is that very famous episode at the very end when they were leaving. Some big Punjabi tentwallas were harassing Srila Prabhupada and one of his servants and saying there was some payment. And Srila Prabhupada just threw his chadar over the shoulder and jumped in the rickshaw and driven off. And then again Srila Prabhupada came in 1977, which was a Purna Kumbh, a full Kumbha Mela. And that time the devotees had their own camp. And they had been shown a very nice camp, actually, in a very good location, because ISKCON was very well respected. But the foreign devotees, we don't want to mention any names, did not have any experience in Kumbha Mela. And they were thinking it is something like a beach outing or something. And they had opted for land at the end of the Kumbha Mela where there was more space and open land. So when Srila Prabhupada came, he was very upset and said this is a very useless location. So then is a quote here, we have not come for liberation, we have come to preach. Being engaged in Krishna's unalloyed devotional service, we are already liberated. We are not interested in liberation, we have come to preach devotional service. So there's also in the second time, when Srila Prabhupada was in 77, there was a situation where Srila Prabhupada was asked for the devotees, and the devotees were not around, and he said, the second time he also said, we are here for preaching, we are not here for taking baths. So, next slide. So these are our residing deities, Sri Radha Veni Madhav at ISKCON Prayagraj. I think, if I'm not wrong, they got installed in 1991. When I first time came with Padayatra, there was nothing. And in the second round around Madai Prabhu, he had gotten the land from the king of Varanasi. And then Surpati came later on and installed the deities. Patri Prabhu was there, Ram Lakshman. So I've seen many managements were changing, and the present management has built 3 nice buildings. One of them is a guest house, one is an ashram, and one is a preaching building. Next. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Prayagraj is a very ancient place. It is there right from the beginning of creation. There is the Akshay Vat, which is there for very ancient, is very ancient in the Puranas, is described. And then we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's place here. This is Dashashma Vedagat, where Rupa Shiksha has taken place. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur installs the footprints there. And right behind that, next, then there is Veni Madhav temple. This is one of the 12 Madhava temples. That's a prominent temple. It's also mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited there. And one second. So Srila Prabhupada actually also mentions that in the CC it is mentioned that Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami, there was in the Mark months. In the months of Mark where the Mela took place. And because there was so much crowd, that's why they went up to Dashashma Vedagat to find a little quiet place. So then Veni Madhava, also Srila Prabhupada visited many times. And the next pastime which happened, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ran into Vallabhacharya and he invited him to his house for lunch. So Vallabhacharya lives in Arilgram, which is across the river. And his house is there. I remember in 2001 when we went there, it was like a time capsule. It had not been changed. And now then the money came and they put marble and everything. That time it just looked like it is. So when Mahaprabhu went with Vallabhacharya on the Yamuna, he got ecstasy seeing the Yamuna. and he started dancing and shaking the boat, and Vallabhacharya got very much disturbed. So on the way back, he took him via Ganga. Next, this was a picture. So the main attraction, what everyone is coming from, is the Triveni Sangam. So wherever there is Ganga and Yamuna, there automatically is also Saraswati. So if we look at technically speaking, it's 5 prayags in the Himalayas when you go to Badrika Ashram. And then when you go to Mana, that is 3 kilometers beyond Badrika Ashram, there is the confluence of Alaknanda and Saraswati at Keshava Prayag. So here the Saraswati is reappearing out of Ganga, and there you see the actual Sangam, where the waters are actually mixing. The boats are there, and the government put up those barriers. Next. So this year was Kumbha Mela, and we made a great preaching effort. So it is held in Prayagraj. Next. So here you can see this is the front of our camp. We styled it like Kushum Sarovar, like a Vrindavan temple. And here you can see how it is sectored. It is a very, very accurate planning. It always starts from here, sector 1, and then it goes up to sector 10, and then it goes all the way around until sector 25. So the government does a huge job. I have the data also of how many roads and how many electricity. So when we first came, there's just sand, some electrical poles, and some road plates. They put checkered plates, those checkered metal plates on the floor, and they get bolted together with little strips, and that will make the road, because if not, the vehicles would sink into the sand. So they're providing roads, they provide electricity, they provide water, there's internet, and there's a huge team of cleaning people, and drainage is also provided. So our camp was at sector 19, and at the crossroad, this road here is Gangoli Shivalya Marg, and we had a corner which is very good for preaching, and that side is Harshvardhan Marg in sector 19. Next. Book distribution. So a very great score. We distributed 4 lakh Bhagavad Gitas and 4 lakh small book, and about 2 lakh Srila Prabhupada's booklets. So how that is done, it is a huge amount of money which comes together. I think altogether it goes in 6 or 7 crores rupees. Devotees basically over the whole year, they get books sponsored. And then we distribute, because Srila Prabhupada didn't want free distribution. And if you give out freely, it turns into a very difficult to manage situation. So we're selling 1 small book and 1 Prabhupada booklet for 20 rupees, and the Bhagavad Gita is given as free, and they all have stamped free and not for sales. Next. So here you can see the devotees going around. I was very lucky. First we did a little puja, and I was a little late. I just walked in, so I took the first Bhagavad Gita set with a small book, and I went out and I sold the first set. Next. So we also have book counter in our pandal, and this is outside of our pandal, so to have maximum outreach. And then the devotees load the Bhagavad Gitas and set up different little camps towards the Mela to sell the books. Next. So this is the Sai Snan. So the actual origin of this Kumbha Mela is that the sadhus came together to take baths at the holy time. So we start again very big, that the churning of the ocean of milk happened, the demigods and Dhanvantari, the nectar appeared, Mohini Murti, and at that some point Garuda snatched the nectar. At some point some nectar fall down and something seeped into the earthly planets, and at a particular, the sun enters Leo, there's a particular star constellation. When the star constellation appears, the nectar becomes available for humankind at Triveni. So first of all, there's 4 places. Everyone thinks it's only in Prayagraj. It happened in Prayagraj. Next now, after 2 years, comes Nasik. Then within 1 year, there comes Ujjain. And then after that comes Adha Kumbh in Prayagraj. And 3 years after that comes Haridwar. So it is in Prayagraj, in Nasik, in Ujjain, and in Haridwar, 4 places where the Kumbha Mela takes place. And the Kumbha Mela is basically run by something, this is called the Akharas. There are 13 Akharas. So what has happened when the Mohammedans took over India, there were groups of rather violent ascetics which were protecting the sadhus so that they peacefully could take their bath. So this 13 akaras, so we are in Nirvani Ani, we are under Balabhadra Akara, because we are Brahma, Gaudiya, Vaishnava, Sampradaya. So everyone who want to take a position in this Kumbha Mela has to find his group, and then his group will check if the lineage is authentic, and if you're authentic, then they make you a Sri Mahant or Mandaleshwar, according different groups have different names. So we have His Holiness Navayogenda Swami and this Lokanath Swami, they're both Sri Mahants in Nirvani Ani. So these akaras, they organize something which is called a Sai Snan. Every Kumbha Mela there's 3 Sai Snans. Sai means royal bath. It's a royal bathing procession. And this year it was in Prayagraj. It is always Makara Sankranti. It is Mauni Amavasya and Vasant Panchami. So it was 14th, 29th, and 3rd. So normally we only... technically, you're only allowed 1 mahant, 1 vehicle, and 5 followers. So you can see we a little bit outdid that. And basically, when we came to the bridge, where we are, this time the Sangam was on the other side. It depends where the Ganga is. I didn't fully run out the point. This whole Kumbha Mela, it looks like first it's a sandbank, and then it's very organized. It's a grid of roads, left and right side road, like New York. You have a close grid of roads. It's like and that never changes. Even Ganga changes her course. Then the grid is a little bit shifted up and down, but the same roads and the same spot. So when I come back in 6 years, it is very nicely recorded. I will get the same place, the same amount of land, the same amount of taps, the same amount of current connections, whatever I put in the record this time, what I'm holding, I'm getting back next time. So the 3 Sai Snans are there, and because we have 2 Mahants, we are allowed to participate. So here is our Mahant Lokanath Swami, and Bhakti Vijay Bhagavat Maharaj is there. He was heading the book distribution. There's Jai Vijay, an old Padayatra devotee. He was driving the bullock cart for the whole month, and me and Sitaram who participated. That is the first time we actually took Srila Prabhupada's body, and we took him for the Sai Snan procession. So it was a very great success. All the other Mahants, they're sitting on top of their trucks and they're glorifying themselves, but you can see here, we are taking the Padayatra cart with Srila Prabhupada. There's Savabhoma, he's with us from the beginning on, and with Sri Sri Nitai Gosunda, and we go with the roaring kirtan. And the bridge, there were 2 bridges. At some point we took the bridge where we were alone on the bridge. The whole bridge is like a pontoon bridge, was filled with devotees, front in the deity cart and filled in the back with devotees. And it's a final lineup because all they're sitting on trucks. They have to run on these checkered metal plates, but we have the bulls, so we just went in the sand and overtook everyone. Hare Krishna. Next. So that is at the bathing time. Everyone gets very enthusiastic. As this, you can't hold that. Everyone's in full ecstasy when you go there, and everyone is like Hari Bol, and then we take that bath. Next. So this is our Harinam Sankirtan. Every day the bullock cart went out. This bullock cart goes around and goes to different routes. So we're very famous for that. Even every government official knows, oh, you're the Hare Krishnas with that bullock cart. So very successful. And it is hard to imagine when you have not been there, how many people are there. It's like an ocean of people. So you do Harinam there, simple Harinam, you reach millions of people in one day's procession. Next. So then next is Annadan. So our original plan last year in Ayodhya, we given about 10,000 meals for 40 days every day. And so we were thinking we were doing very great. So we were thinking this time we also managed with the same budget. Earlier my budget had been very small, and usually I could do like 3,000 meals per day. So this time we planned for 10,000 meals per day, and there was some squabble about who will do the distribution, the Chaupati team or the Dwarka teams, and Chaupati team when, but eventually Dwarka, Pradyumna Priya Prabhu, it was in his head, and he approached Adani, and Adani came in and he said easily he's sponsoring 50,000 meals per day. So our goal was 60,000 meals per day, and we pretty much did that every day. And even right now we're still doing about 15 15 to 30,000 meals every day, right now as I'm standing here. So we had one big prasadam hall, and next. So you can see all sorts of people are coming. Next. Then you can see, we have so many stalls all over in different locations of the Mela. We got a small place even on the Sangam, at the main place, and there we had a small kitchen also where we distributed. Next. So like that. Next. So this is our mega kitchen. I mean, some of you maybe have seen chapatis are cooking here also. This is the biggest kitchen they ever set up because it was such a huge amount. So I'm the person who comes in the beginning. All this pandal work and all setting it up is mine work. So the kitchen was 120 by 160. And then we had 2 go downs, 30 by 40, and a huge foyer in the front. And we had about 25 rooms for 10 devotees each for staying. Next. So this is a chapati machine. Here you can see. Here's the cooking, and they have a rail system with cranes, so there's no hard labor. This chapati machine can do up to 10,000 chapatis in 1 hour. Next. So here you can see the whole kitchen layout. Here's the crane layout. Then when the chapatis are cut out, they go on this heating thing and they fall down. This is the gas chula section. This is the wood chula section. And by crane, the things get lifted on this train and they go to the prasadam hall for distribution, or front side where they're getting to the vehicles to go to the distribution point. Next. So this is our Padiyatra card, as I said earlier, for the Harinam. So this is the new Padiyatra that just started in Kartik. This is for Punjab and Haryana. So they were so kind from Vrindavan to walk down to Prayagraj, and then they were there. Now they have been shipped back to, I think, to Noida, and from there they're starting. Next. So you can see this Jai Vijay, he's driving the cart every day. And also here afterwards when we come back, this is a program pandal, we have to park. Next. Next. So then the temple program, this time Sita Prabhu helped us. So we had a perfect Jagannath temple. Normally we only have the Padiyatra cart, but this time we made a full wooden platform and with a wooden floor and a carpet. And we had those heaters and we had a full decoration and a roof, and we had next. Then we had a cinema theater. So in that temple hall, go back, you see these people are chanting japa. So we got japa malas and bead bags. And everyone who chanted 1 round of the Hare Krishna mantra, we had a little card and they took a sankalpa to chant 1 round of the Hare Krishna mantra for the rest of their lives. And in such a holy place, when people sign that, they will definitely follow that. Next. So we had a little theater where we were showing the movie, different movies of Srila Prabhupada. Next. And this is again the temple hall. You can see this Lokanath Swami giving a class, and you see those heaters in the morning. Normally in Kumbha Mela it is very cold, and after Mangalati everyone is running back to under their blanket. But this temple room was the warmest place in the whole, so everyone sat there and chanted their japa and been there for the whole morning program. Next. So we had Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra, the deities from Prayagraj temple, which they have in a small room, so they were also happy. And right next to that we had the Padiyatra, Nitya Gosunda and Srila Prabhupada. Next. So then from Mumbai, we always bring some dioramas, they're ready-made. Maybe for Westerners they look a little simple, but Indian people are very much impressed. When they see that outside from the road, everyone comes in our pandal. Next. And we had different ceremonies. Now this is also something very interesting. The Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanam, the TTD from Tirupati, they also have a camp. And I think in 2013, we invited them, and first time they came, and this time we invited them again. So they have something, the Srinivasa Kalya Mahotsav, where Balaji is marrying Sri Devi and Bhu Devi. So they come, we set up a stage, and it's like a 3-hour program with the whole music and mantra and tantra and everything, where the Lord is married to his consorts. Next. Yeah, that's how we're sitting there and watching that. Next. So we had a Yagya Shala. So that is Also, we do for the minimum 1 month. This is, if you stay in Prayagraj for 1 month, it is called Kalpavas. That is so auspicious, like you're doing tapasya for one kalpa. So I made sure that this yagya was different there. I had different yagya Brahmins doing it, and for the whole month we did the yagya. Next. So then we had the clinic facilities. The Bhaktivedanta Swami Hospital sent us some 10 doctors, and they were rotating in shift and giving to the devotees and to the public health care for free. Next. Okay, here we have special guest. There's Mr. Adani, who spent his money for doing the food distribution with his wife. And then this is also a very rich lady, Mrs. Sudha Murthy. She is a mother-in-law of the previous president, how you call that, Prime Minister of England. So they have a very big industry in Bangalore. Next. So there Mr. Adani is cooking, and Mr. Adani he actually came and ate the meal, and he distributed prasadam, and he was very much impressed with our setup. That is Mrs. Sudha Murthy. She was actually into it. She distributed prasadam for more than half an hour. Next. Okay, so His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj came. I was very fortunate. For 2 days I went with him. We visited, we took him 2 times bath, and we visited to the Akshayvat. And I mean, that was like a miracle. We just came before the Chief Minister and the Vice President, and the red carpet was already rolled out, and there was no public. So we walked on the red carpet to the Akshayvat. We convinced the Pujari inside to open the gate and let us touch the tree and surround. So it was a very nice pastime we had. We had a good time. Next. So he's Gauranga, the kitchen team is his team. So obviously he also distributed prasadam. Next. Lokanath Maharaj came as our Mahant, and he came also for the Sai Snan. Next. Next. His Holiness Guru Prasad Swami came. Next. Here he came from the NIDC meeting, and we given him around, and he's seen everything. Next. And also His Holiness Navayugenda Swami came. He's also one of our Sri Mahants. He also came for one of the Sai Snans. Okay, so altogether we distributed at least 50,000-60,000 meals every day. On the basing day, maybe up to 1.5 lakh meals. Because we had a second kitchen in the DSA ground, that is near the railway station, Prayagraj railway station, and they have a holding area because in 2013 a stampede had happened. So now all the people who want to enter into the railway station get first put in one holding area, and then only if your train is actually coming near to the platform, then you're allowed to proceed. So many people, up to 100,000 people sitting in this holding area, and we distributed obviously prasad there, and when people in holdings are very happy to sit and have a meal. So we had 2 mega kitchen and 1 kitchen at the Sangam. And all 3 of those kitchens are running even right now. We're not running on full capacity, but even right now we're doing between 15 and 30,000 meals every day until the 26th. And then altogether 4 lakh Bhagavad Gitas, 2 lakh Prabhupada pamphlets, and another 4 lakh small books. Altogether, I guess almost 10 lakh pieces of literature have been distributed. And lots of Harinam has been done, and this time our camp was very famous. I spent a lot of money on advertising, so even before the Mela started, we already had posters in the town. It only said the best Bandara, the best prasadam in town, please come. So then we did a lot of posters, and a lot of people came. So our camp was almost like a railway station most of the time. It's so many people you cannot imagine unless you have seen it. Hare Krishna. Thank you, thank you. Any questions or comments?
What time was the serving of prasad?
We had the normal morning program. We start Mangalati, and after Mangalati is same thing. You know, Shringa prayer, then Tulsi Artis, and Japa periods, and greeting of the deities, Guru Puja class from 8 to 9. From 9 to 10 is devotee prasadam. The camp itself, I can say before we used to have tents. This time, because I had more money, I had no tents. Everyone got a room with a plywood platform and beds and mattresses and pillows and blankets. And every room had 2 charging points and 1 heater point. So I provided heaters in all the rooms. So it was kind of good. And bathroom and toilet facilities, ladies and gents separate. Then we had 93 deluxe rooms. That means bathroom and toilet is attached. Also heater facility, hot water by gas geyser. Also all the common bathrooms and toilet were facilitated with a gas geyser, so everyone got hot water. So altogether, then we had 5 super deluxe tents for the Maharajas. It's called Maharaja tent by nature. And then we had a second camp in Sector 18 where we have 20 Maharaja tents that was run by ISKCON Dwarka for Adani and all the special guests. Then in Sector 16 we had an overflow camp that is 1 big pandal with 500 mattresses on the floor, so on the bathing days when so many people come. And then from the Akara side, we got another land in Sector 14 where also we put, where their actual tents came. Actual tents was there. And then if everything else was full, it came that. And then we had special coupons. After that, we would fill up the prasadam hall. And when that was full, then between the dioramas. So altogether on the bathing days, maybe 3,500 people took shelter in our camp. So that means morning from 8 to 9 o'clock, from 9 to 9:30 up to 10 o'clock sometimes our devotees would take prasadam. And from that time on, then the whole day until 8 o'clock at night, we would give out this public prasadam. And also on the stalls, we would start already from 9 o'clock onwards, also outside, and then after also inside the prasadam hall. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I would say I had almost 500, 600 devotees constantly, and then it would fluctuate up to 900 devotees. They were inside, yeah. You have to see, there was, also we had golf carts going up and down, about 100 of them. So there's also 100 drivers were required for that. And I got a 200, I don't know if anyone is technical, I got 200 kV transformers in my camp. Even the chief minister didn't have that. So, yeah, the procession, we call that, the government was very merciful with us. And then see, we had about 250 devotees working in the kitchen. And then also we had a huge distribution team, drivers and distributors. And we had more than 120, 130 book distributors. And then also we had about up to 100 devotees for Harinam and 20 from the Padayatra, and then repair and maintenance and all this would add up. So we were very organized this time. We had a registration office, so when you come in there, the first thing is we click your picture, then we see your Aadhaar card. From the Aadhaar card, we will put your name in the system, when you're coming, when you're going. We will allot you the room where your sleeping place is, and then downstairs from which date to which date you're staying and which service we have allotted you. That will be printed out, so you have a card with your picture on it and with all this information. So afterwards, any security person can just see if you're that person. Because before, if you make some band or something, I'll take it off, the next one, put it around his arm. So it was because in such a magnitude, it has to become very tight so that everyone, particularly the volunteers, all have their fixed place where they sleep. Nobody's encroaching on their place. So yeah, it was a very big. Okay, funding. I think myself, I must have spent about 3 crore rupees on making all the pandals and the arrangements, the transport, this and that. Then one second, let me. No. I'm not. I'm somewhat rich, but not that much. So no, it is a national event in ISKCON India. We call that a national event. So technically, if let's say I'm in Vrindavan branch, I'm not allowed to spend my money somewhere else than Vrindavan branch because the money is collected for that. So when the bureau announces the national event, then me and Sarvabhauma become the directors. There's not a president, there's a director for the project. And then the temples from all over India pledged money to give. So with that, we were supposed, our original budget was about 3 crore rupees. Yeah, and that was supposed to be for 10,000 meals and for all the facilitate in the pandal and whatever is required. So then when Adani came in, then I think altogether on the meals, that must have been 7-8 crores. And then not to underestimate the books. The books come in trucks of 36,000 books, one double XL truck. That is about 70 lakh rupees per truck. So if you calculate 400,000 times 195, so that is a lot of, I think, 7-8 crores also spent on the sponsored books. So altogether, I would say more than 20 crores rupees we spent on this preaching program. This was the biggest ever. Yeah. Yeah. So the books were also sponsored from temples all around India. Yeah. So I'm doing that since long time. My first Kumbha Mela was in '93 when I was walking on Padayatra. We came to Ujjain and Dinabandhu was the leader. So, and it was a very rather small event. Bhakti Binga Govinda Swami that time, Ayodhya Pati was running the kitchen. He was making sweet rice and puris every morning. So we are young brahmacharis. We were in ecstasy feast every day. And it was a rather small event. Then my first Mela where I was as a manager was in 2001 in Prayagraj. I think we ran the Mela maybe that in those days in approximately 70-80 lakhs. And then I came into the picture. I'm a little technical minded, so I increased the land, and there's a system where you deal with authorities. So our land came bigger and bigger. We had all together in one place, we had 4 acres and land, and then 1 more acre in all those other camps combined. So we had a huge amount of land. Yeah. So and. So that time, so only on this 93 rooms, we also, I think, almost 1.5 crore rupees we had income from renting out the rooms. Yeah, some rooms were given to the Adanis, some rooms to our own devotees. He stayed in the second camp. I rented another camp in Sector 18, Tulsi Mark. You give somebody some gift of love, and then they give you their property, and so we had there, and that was a super deluxe camp. Only Maharaj tent, and the from Dwarka, the Govinda's team was there, a la carte you can get, and yeah, and cold drinks, and something like a chat. Yeah, the whole setup was there where you get like a snack bar type of a thing, so like a buffet. So that was very, Adani stayed there for a couple of hours, but the rest of the Adani families came in badges and stayed there for 1-2 days. Yes. Must have been in hundreds. Yeah. Yeah, and then this politician and that policeman and this one, and you know there's a huge amount of people who deserve a favor. This, India, you know. Yeah, so it was very big. It was very big.
Because Adani had gone and seen the setup, which was made specifically for him coming. Because he saw the setup, he had absolutely no reluctance in inviting 100 of his friends.
Yeah, no, it is. No, it is. Also before his, and they were very satisfied, particularly with the kitchen run by Goranga. The kitchen setup is very good. So with the cranes and everything, when you see, yeah, Modi came many times. And hey, big success. Already in the forefront, we work a lot of with the Mela Arikari, and we introduced in the consciousness of the Mela Arikari that we are not distributing food. We are distributing prasadam. And we met him many times for many reasons, and we hit him again and again, and we're not giving watery rice and liquid sabji. We are giving rice, dal, sabji, chapati, and sweet, and this is prasadam. So when Modi spoke, about the Kumbha Mela, he said, we are distributing prasadam. So it was all very good. Any more questions? Thank you, all of you, for coming. As the audience was very small, I felt at least some of you came. I had a strong, I think, Swayam Bhagavan Keshava Swami over there. He's a very popular speaker. So Jayapataka Swami, I saw a strong competition. So thank you for coming. Yeah, you're blessed by your blessings. But no, the next generation is coming up. Sitaram, a young group is coming. They're learning now. So I guess I'm 58. I can do another Ada Kumbh. Next time I'm 70 years old. Radharaman Maharaj is always there. He first time met the devotees in 77. So he became a devotee from Kumbha Mela actually. He's every Kumbha Mela there solidly. He's a brother of Radha Govinda Maharaj.
So he was mentioning that Radharaman Maharaj got in touch with ISKCON in 1977 at the Kumbh Mela. So now he always comes to the Kumbh. He's always present.
He's a humble sadhu also. He just sticks it out there. So no problem. Yeah, so you bless me. So we will see. Now this was a good experience. Next is coming Nasik in 2 years, in 27. And then within 1 year comes Ujjain. Yes, that is also. That comes, then comes the Ada Kumbh in Prayagraj. After 6 years, I have a Ada Kumbh, which is almost as big as the Purna Kumbh, because in order to reserve your land, you have to come. If not, you come back after 12 years and somebody else is in your spot. So people have to come. All right? Thank you so much, bro. Hare Krishna. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Prayagraj ki jai. Kumbha Mela ki jai.